until 4 o'clock. They do everything. Such a lovely house.
Yeah, I'll rewind this though.
Yes.
What is it?
Wow. So I think the Victorian church was very different back then.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a short video that's on the website of the exhibition, Only the Lonely exhibition that I did for the Arts Council back in 2021-2, which is what I made during the pandemic, and it was on a few galleries, including the Art House Wakefield, which is part of the Epworth and stuff like that. So just let me take a photograph. We should just changing the sound over so.
Stewart Hall, who's going to be having a chat with Tony Fisher. Simon Hill, I'm so sorry, you're Stewart. Simon Hill, I'm so sorry. I'm too busy absorbing energies, and I get names wrong all the time. But yeah, this is the lovely Tony Fisher, who I've had the pleasure of working with. Simon Hill as well.
Yeah, I'm not too stressed. Anyway, you've got a rough idea there, and so when we're doing these presentations, you can walk around and chat to me and everything like that. And there's some books you can look at here. Now, the Royal Photographic Society is supporting me a lot, and Stewart Woolley has done a lot of fantastic workshops we've been on, and they've got into books. So that's really good. There's also a magazine here you can look at, which is produced by a local gallery, which is my work from here as well. So you can peruse those in the break. And I think, are you ready to speak, Simon?
Am I ready to speak? Yeah.
Well, I can do.
Do I? Is that for you to go for that?
Yeah, you want it.
I will do. I'll feel very good.
This is the pulpit. Well, you can come down here if you like.
Sorry, we'll call you Reverend then. Reverend, I don't think so. Speak from here.
Okay,
right, well, thanks very much for hanging on. I'm sorry I'm late. I was up at Appleby Horse Fair today with another RPS group, and what I thought was a 4-hour drive turned out a bit longer. Anyway, it's quite, I'm really quite happy that I got here today. But also, importantly, it's 6 years ago, almost to the day. It was the last day of May 2019. And I was working for a mental health charity called Ambient, which is about, 10 miles north of here? Yeah? And I do a lot of work for Ambient and for P3. And I was photographing at one of their allotments, which is one of for service users, people that use the facilities of the charity. And I was taking these photographs away, and I got this sense behind me that I was being photographed, and I thought, that's very strange, I'm in the middle of an allotment. Anyway, I turned around, and there was a photographer taking pictures, and this gentleman sort of sidled over to me. He was very flamboyantly dressed, so I think you can imagine who that might have been. But anyway, he sidled over to me, and he said, oh, yeah. He said, you're a photographer then? And everyone was taking pictures. I said, well, so are you then, aren't you? And we got chatting, and that was, like I say, it was almost 6 years ago to the day. And I'm really happy that in those 6 years we've stayed very good friends, and our paths have crossed on many occasions. So I'm delighted that Tony's asked me to come down and, well, not open the exhibition, but just say a few words about your dress sense and things like that. As you can see, we dress very differently.
It is the opening today.
It is the opening, yeah. So I suppose I am opening then, in in a way. But importantly, I think it's great to see Tony's work, and it's been great to see that work change, even in only the 6 years that I've known him. That I think you're celebrating, what, 50 years, is it, this year in photography, since your Trent days?
Yeah, right about that. Yeah.
Paul Hill and John Blakemore. So it's not really a retrospective, because there's still a lot of work to do, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Is there like what? What are you doing next?
Well, I've got my own microphone, haven't I?
You can shout if you like.
You mentioned that allotment.
Yeah. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember it. I've actually got funding to do a project there, art installations with the people who go on it.
The same guys that were there 6 years ago?
Well, something's changed, but it's an organisation called Makeshift.
Yeah.
And I've got a grant for them to start a project doing like a multimedia thing with, you know, involving other people. So we're going to be doing sketching and painting and maybe a bit of sculpture and poetry and all kinds of things. And then planting them like seeds in the garden and in the edge bottoms, you know, that kind of thing.
Brilliant.
Photography, you know.
Oh, well,
whatever.
I'll probably have better if you were doing that. I'm still working around that. So.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Didn't you know? No? No. I didn't know you were doing a sculpture project. So that's good. But the photography that Tony's done over the last 50 years has changed. And it's not just photography, it's been involved in poetry, in filmmaking for Channel 4, painting, sketching, drawing, and now sculpture, is it? A little bit, dabble. But photography's been a bit of a lifesaver for Tony, I think it's fair to say. The photography that he's done and the art that he's produced reflects his journey really, and the trials and tribulations that he's experienced through his life. And I think it's a fair comment to say that photography saved your life and has been part of your life.
What you will see when you're taking away the...
Now, am I taking away your thumb?
It's coming in and it's...
Oh, right, okay. Strike that, forget I said that. You can see we've rehearsed this really well.
Yeah, so I'm walking the lines, you know, I'm a straight man.
So if you're the straight, then what does that make me?
No, it's all right, it's the way
well, yeah, is it? All right, okay. Well, anyway, without anything else, then I won't take away Tony's thunder. And if you want me to formally open it, it's formally open, so you can have a walk around and enjoy Tony's work after this. So what have we decided that's going next?
Well, I want to do a little talk.
Oh, good.
Because everyone's sitting down.
Right.
And then you can all mingle a bit more. Maybe clear the floor and have a dance. Or maybe not. Yes. Anybody got a problem with it? Can have a little dance. You don't sing, do you, Ruby?
Oh, you don't want to hear that.
Do you dance as well?
I do dance, though. Yeah, I do dance.
Come on then.
Right,
anyway, thanks very much.
Thank you, Simon, for that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
do I give you this back now?
No, you've got to keep it.
Oh, right. It's not everybody.
We've got a chair somewhere because have we run out of chair?
There's one there.
Oh, yeah, there's one there.
I'm going to sit down the back.
Oh.
These are examples of stuff I've done which are not in chronological order, but this is a recent show from the DX Lawrence Museum. I photographed the last days of Kellingly Deep mine in Yorkshire, the last coal mine to close in Britain. This is sculpture Richard Bett, who did the COVID made back in the COVID time. It's made from a real tree, which is about a dead tree, I think, about 30 foot high in Belgium. Little tree. This is going back in time, but it's a lovely project called My Favourite Spot or something in Bolsover. I do workshops with people in the community. This is a project that I love doing. 1980, investigation of the town of Eastwood in Nottinghamshire. I went into schools and you can see skinheads. All the society's completely changed, coal mines, everything. And these are used quite a lot in education things in the Eastwood Library now. They also made videos, very early video. In 1980, when you had to carry a camera around with a car battery to keep it going. That's how old I am. Now this one here, this during COVID, it's called At the Boundary. Sorry, it's a bit quick. Talk about that later. Developer Arts Trail. Yeah, I was talking about the previous one. During COVID, you could only go out. This woman couldn't go out at all. Oh, this is sorry. I have to talk about this. This is a new one. That's going in. I've got another exhibition opening in Derby Hospital at the end of the month. This is one of the images that's going up there. Part of the series called Belong with 5 prints. And this is taken in Birmingham, our RPS workshop last year. Particularly pleased with these. This was a picture in the High Street, and I got 8 pictures chosen for the East Midlands area, which went on prints all around Derby, which is quite a nice thing to do. It was on for about a month. It was all over the nation. People did their local cities and things. So they blew up my pictures big and put them on prints all around Derby. That was taken at Ripley. Bit pastoral. That's one of my favourite spots in Derbyshire, which is at Rousley, at the back of the Cornwall's Mill, which sadly isn't there anymore, but I just love the landscape there. A little bit of nature, that's been used a few times. That's Oakerthorpe, medieval woods, Oakerthorpe, near Ripley. From about 1989, I think that was. Again, this is back in time 1980 Eastwood, lovely project to do, working with schools. No CRB checks, nothing. All the children there welcomed me with a big blackboard saying, "Welcome to Tony," and sang me a song in the assembly. This is one that's in front of you there. This is taken at Cossall, down the road. This is Nancy the goat, who's got mental health problems. There's a special goatery for nervous goats. This was a favourite project back in the 1986, I think it was, photographing Stilton cheese in Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire and Leicestershire. This went all over the 3 counties. This exhibition, Hazel Schindler, is on permanent display at Derbyshire County Council for the last 30 years. That was one of my inspirations, my cat, Sweet Pea. She wanted to come tonight, but she wanted to come with Rosie and she didn't want to go out. So. I think that may be the last slide. I think. Thank you. So, I was going to say, so anyway, I've done lots of different things over the years, and it was all analogue photography when I started in darkrooms and that kind of stuff. And in a way I miss that. I mean, I live in a smaller house now, but I miss it because today you use a computer or a phone and it's multi-thingy. You can have phone calls, connect TV and everything intrudes while you're trying to work. So I'd rather have the old days, but I can't really have a dark room. So, you know, it's not the same experience. So I've had to change with that. But also, later on I might put some films on because I've made quite a few films on Super 8 and all that, which I was with the Arts Council filmmakers on tour scheme back in the 70s and early 80s. I made a documentary for Channel 4 about an ironworks, so I worked with film as well. And I am going to read you a poem, but I left it in the car, you was glad to know, so I will go and get it in a minute when I've had a break and read it to you. Is that alright?
That was beautiful, Tony.
I'll read the poem later. But I think people are ready to stretch their legs. Unless you've got any questions, you can ask them now if you want. Or not.
Beautiful picture at the front, so you talk to students, getting in that sort of position.
Oh yeah, I told them, just move around a bit.
Fantastic.
There's always an element of look in a photograph, and sometimes you miss things, and you can't guarantee things. But you know, more recently, well, over the last few years, I've got more and more attracted to nature and walking in nature. And at different times of day and everything, and that's one of the results of that. But you know, I'll say this later on. I've got a few thanks to people, but I'll leave that till later when I've done my poem. So for now, I think I'll come down off my pulpit, mix along with the common man. It is, maybe it's in the TARDIS, it might disappear, you know, then you have to...
It's a bit cramped back there.
Yeah, well, you know, it's yes, well... Actually, I've got a photograph, I haven't got it with me, but I had a very long scarf, which I used to dress like Tom Baker's Doctor Who with big hat and everything, so... Maybe I am the new Doctor Who, but I'm going to come down now. Everyone can move around.
Thank you very much.
I go here. All right. 1 point. This point, I haven't got this in this exhibition, but it's been in one or two. This is a picture of a tree, right? And it's at Riddings Park where I live, and it was like 1,000 years old, and the council chopped it down because they said it was harbouring young people standing underneath it selling drugs, so they chopped the tree down, which isn't very good, is it? And somebody there as an expert counted all the rings, and it was 1,000 years old, this tree. And you can't see it there, but someone wrote bum carved in it, you know, it's like... So anyway, that was on it to show, but I wrote a poem to go with it, so you can see the picture. Sorry I can't put it on the screen, but you can see the picture. So I do write poetry, and sometimes I've been performing it at various sort of green festivals and things anyway, but I'm just going to read it now. The sapling grew and grew, spreading wide. They carved their name with pride. Does Colin love Jane, Harry for Sally? After time, they faded for years. The sap rose. Anthea for Derek, Jim for Pam, etching deep into the bough. Ironic words of love. As the tree ate and shed leaves, nobody saw this. At night or by day, for 1,000 years it stood still. Living memorials, roll call of relationships long gone. The surgeons came, removed its heart, stumped, amputated, alone. So, I'm not going to read any more because I've got no more with me because we're not all stand. But anyway, so thanks for listening to that one.
Thank you.
So, I have been published in a few anthologies, which I haven't got with me unfortunately. But do have a look at these books and the photographs. There is some poems in one of these books which is about Clumber Park, and I wrote I don't know how you pronounce it, Acco is it? What is it, Stewart? It's Stewart's the name. Yeah, they do this one, look. It was a fantastic trip around, and I've learned the word Esperlanding, which Peggy knows about to do with peaches. But anyway, we looked around Clumber Park, and we had a really good guided tour explaining about who lived there and the stories of them, so it might not make any sense without the context of it. But here we go. Still to fill you with background. It's called Imagined. In Clumber, they parked her, Lady Susan. No, oh yeah. She's got, yeah, and I'll explain it afterwards. In Clumber, they parked her, Lady Susan. No right to roam, entrapped. Indiscretions among shadows, gliding from pillow to post, scratching the walls fruitlessly. The girl invited illusions of escape. The peach tree blushed as she passed by, feigning illness. Was there a way out? In the end. Now, explain that. Maybe you can tell them, Stuart.
When you talked about the duties, wasn't it, and how the families interacted with each other, and can you remember who the lady was who escaped ran abroad to escape that sort of...
That's a lot of syllables for a haiku.
Yeah. This is reverse haiku. 17 syllables in haiku, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an excellent haiku. A series of them. And I think that's something really interesting about photography, where when you've got that context and that history, your photography means so much more. But Tony, I wanted to ask you a question, and that is that when we do these projects, they're always collaborative projects, so there's maybe a dozen photographers on them, and they all send me the photographs put into the publication there, into the zine or photo book, and they all arrive, and if we think back to Roland Barthes and Pablo Lucida, where he tells us that a group of people could walk down the same road and just take different photographs based on their past experiences. I can see that with everybody's work, and then yours arrive, and they're so different somehow that I wonder whether you actually walked alongside us. They're so creative. So, how do you create the photography that you create? How do you see what you see?
Good question. I've no idea really.
What time is answer, Tony?
I have a clue. No.
So in a religious, for instance, is it holy fire? Does it come from God, your creativity? It's just natural.
Yes, actually.
Just natural.
No, actually, I don't say I'm religious because I am in a way actually, and I do believe that sometimes that I'm walking through nature and I actually thank God. You know, it sounds crackers, but I do. You know, and. Because I think that, you know, I haven't learnt all this in books. I've not learnt it but you know, we all photographers, all artists, in fact all of us anyway, we have so many things that we soak in, you know, not just nowadays with the internet, but everything goes in there. Even when I was at school doing art, you know, things go in there and they're always in the background, so you're influenced by thousands of things, thousands of images, sounds, smells, artists, whatever, and it comes out maybe as a copy of something or hopefully a unique piece of original, you know.
What you're saying really is that you just let it happen. You just go out and let it
But sometimes though, like I took some recently, I was in London last week and I took some, it was a hot day and I was looking at the crowd and there's a baby like really looking exhausted, but I was holding it like that, I haven't showed the picture, and so I went in close because I saw a picture developing there like a story within one image. So sometimes it's not just totally random or by look, sometimes you're looking for things, and as Simon was saying earlier, I do try and evolve in some way, you know, subtle ways or not subtle ways to try and make something happen a bit. But those elements have got to be there. You know, I mean, the other day I was at, like I say, in that situation, but one thing could go wrong and then the element would go, it'd disappear. And sometimes also you make mistakes and photograph things that you think that looks great, but it's got sort of ramifications outside of the image, and it couldn't not work or offend somebody, so I didn't see that. And there's all kinds of things, you know, that. So, but it's a journey of learning, and it's not by rote, it's by experience and by learning things. And also I didn't mention that recently, the last year or so, apart from the photography, I now work part-time for the NHS doing wellbeing. I'm working on a national project for wellbeing hubs and things like that, so I'm doing quite a lot of work in NHS now as well. So it's all part of life's rich tapestry, as they say, isn't it? So it's just nice to see a lot of people here who I know, and I've got lots of thanks to say to people, but some of them's gone, sadly. They've left the building, so I can't really thank them, can I? But thank you, Simon, particularly for coming down all that way.
Sorry, I was late.
It's all right, we'll let you off. Thank you, Stewart, for organising the whatever. And I want to see the pictures sometime. I took some last week to send in, by the way. So there you go. And thanks to friends and relatives and everyone who's come.
Well, thanks for sharing your pictures with us.
Yeah, and
Great exhibition.
thanks to...
The other question, because you seem to have had an awful lot of funding support, sort of like Arts Council and things like that. Have you found that that's been a lot more collaborative, or did you have a gem of an idea and then think, well, okay, I'm going to seek funding?
Yeah, I had a gem idea and seek funding, but I mean, some of these are from Arts Council, some of them now are actually, well, just pay for themselves, you know, I'm not going to funding. The ball is the process. I do get support, but it's very difficult, you know, nowadays to get it. But
it's not an easy process.
No, but I think I'd like to say, and I don't want to embarrass anybody, I mean, yeah, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? So I won't, or shall I? No, a lot of people's helped me here, you know, and PK here has helped me a lot with their support, criticism and everything, fantastic, you know, and wonderful artists, etc. And I don't try and embarrass anybody, you know. I mean, we're English, you know, we like that, you know. But I could say a lot of profound thank you. Come on. Anyway, and also maybe I better shut up, shall I? Is anyone embarrassed? No. Okay. No, but I think that also because I think photographer's solitary. Maybe we are. But I've been, the last few years, the community of people helping each other is fantastic. You know, it's not just about you and your ego. You know, it's about something much more than that. You know, and I've learned quite a lot. Yeah, and I've learned quite a lot about things, and I do like go to Quaker meetings now, and I've learned a lot about that as well. So I'm on a learning journey. You know, it's a spiritual one as well as you know, and so anyway, if anyone wants to buy anything, I'll put stuff up there, but I'm not a businessman at all, I'm not pressurising anybody, but it's there if you want. But please, all of you, put something in the comments book and pick up a business card or something. You want to get in touch at any time, then just get in touch with me and take it from there. So I think I'm going to say thank you and good night.